Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at 5 Roblox adventure games. So I hope you're ready to dive deep into a large, grand adventure, and we'll get right into it. First up on the list is going to be a game called Dungeon Delver. This is going to be a little bit more traditional and old school, as it's a top-down adventure game where you can choose from a few different classes such as a mage, a warrior, hunter, and a few others, and you get to level up, gather equipment, find some materials, craft items, battle bosses, and much more. This game is really awesome, as there's a ton of content inside of it from all of the various different events that still currently are in the game, the many bosses and enemies that you can encounter, all of the abilities that you can learn, and even additional content in the game. The world will generate a dungeon for you and for the server. You can either go into your own dungeon and dive in solo or with friends, or you can go into the public one and battle together. At the end of the dungeon, there's a boss room where you can battle for great rewards and return to sell anything that you don't really need. Surprisingly, there's a lot of cool mechanics in the game, such as a market, your own house that you can customize, and factions that you can join for a few benefits. If you're looking for an old school dungeon crawler, this is definitely it. Not only does the game still hold up and is still very fun, but all of the additional content inside of it is very awesome and pretty fun to explore and mess around with. If an old school dungeon crawler isn't for you, then maybe a 3D open world dungeon crawler is. This is Stasis. Stasis is going to put you into a world filled with creatures and dungeons ready for you to explore. In this voxel world, you have to prepare yourself by creating your own weapons and finding anything of resource that can benefit you, as your player doesn't really have any stats or points levels to themselves, at least in the current state of the game. Everything that you earn and the way that you get stronger is going to be through your weapons and equipment. Various creatures will drop different materials and even rare items, so you're going to have to explore, fight, and dive into the dungeons. The overworld can hold a few secrets, while the dungeons are filled with treasures. Currently, there's 2 major dungeons and 1 boss in the game. Other than that, this is a pretty cozy open world adventure, and one of the major highlights is going to be something you might not expect: customization. The game has a huge list of various settings, and additionally, a large amount of the vanity items that you obtain can be customized. So if you do want something that's a little bit more on the easier side of things, but still filled with a ton of content, then maybe Stasis is for you. From voxels to studs. The next game on our list is Studlands. This game is going to be heavily open world compared to the other 2 games on our list, and this is actually going to be the first game that's really large in terms of overworld. From exploring and chatting with the various NPCs to battling the various enemies, this game is somewhat on the difficult side when starting out. You'll be able to obtain some quests, gather some EXP, craft materials, resources, and weapons, and make your way on a large journey. This world is honestly awesome. It is filled with a bunch of different secrets and areas that you can roam around and explore. The game is still heavily getting updates, and I would honestly recommend it if you're looking for a game that's fully adventure-based with a little bit of grind here and there. This game definitely pays off to explore and interact with the NPCs as you roam around and learn about the world. And I do have to admit, the enemies are pretty difficult. Despite this, I hope you're prepared and able to adapt, as some of the bosses in this game are really difficult. Anyways, I would definitely recommend checking this game out. If you're looking for a game that isn't so vibrant, then maybe Lore Game is for you. This game is very dark and filled with secrets of the unknown. This is very heavy on exploration and learning, as the entire world around you is in shambles. At least it seems that way. I do have to mention, this game is really secretive. The description says that you really shouldn't say anything much about the game because it definitely ruins the experience for others. So as a heads up, all of the footage currently being used is from the starting area. This is one of those games where I wish I could explain more, but honestly, it's one of those experiences that you genuinely have to check out on your own if you're that curious. I would recommend it. The combat's pretty cool, the style of the game is very awesome, and exploring the unknown is really fun to do. The game can be a little bit difficult, but I would definitely recommend chatting with the various NPCs, learning about what's around you, such as merchants and items, and any resources nearby, and also try to get a grip of the combat system. Other than that, I don't want to spoil the game any further, and I would just recommend checking it out. Lastly on our list is going to be the most fantastic game in my opinion. This is Fantastic Frontier. This game is wild. It hasn't been updated in a long time, however, it is still one of my all-time favorites and I would definitely recommend giving this one a shot. Similarly to Lore Game, Fantastic Frontier won't really tell you much, and you're really on your own. Not on your own in a difficult way, but on your own into exploring the world around you and learning about the various NPCs and encounters that you can find. The game doesn't really tell you all too much about quests until you find about it, and you'll have to learn about the various merchants that sell different items. It's really cool how the world around you changes as everything is on its own timer. For example, the merchants can be selling one item one day and another item a different day. Additionally, you can do your own gardening, and these plants actually grow over time. This is where the fun kind of goes crazy because the game has oh so much more. You can buy your own houses, you can dive into dungeons or challenges depending on how you look at them, battle the different creatures, take up the challenge of boss fighting, boost your stats, craft your own gear, and find very cool secrets around the world. This game is jam-packed with everything that you can pretty much imagine. However, it is kind of alive and difficult. When I say alive, the world around you has different sections. However, that doesn't really mean there's a new player section and a veteran section. Creatures can inhabit different sections, and you just gotta be wary of which ones you're having troubles with, and pick and choose which fights are right for you. However, since this is an adventure game, you have the option to play with melee weapons, ranged weapons, magic, and a little bit in between. So find out what you like, find out what you enjoy, and dive into this fantastic frontier. That has been 5 Roblox adventure games. All of these games are great in their own and unique ways, and I would definitely recommend checking them out. I hope you found a fun and new adventure game to try and explore. If you got any suggestions, feel free to toss them down below, and I'll probably check them out. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope you found a new and fun game to play, and if you need some more, I have other videos in the same format, giving other suggestions with different types of games. That's gonna be all from me, and I will see ya.